From Fox Television in Washington, D.C., this is the 10 o'clock news.
One thing about this tournament, whether you like the game of soccer or not, the enthusiasm of the fans is infectious. These people go nuts. But who do you think are the most diehard? The Italians, the Mexicans, the Brazilians? How about a group of Americans from Seattle? It's true, fans have come from all over the world, but perhaps the most interesting trek is that of 8 childhood buddies from the state of Washington. They wanted to see World Cup soccer at every U.S. site, but they wanted to make the trip in style. So they forked out $2,000 to buy this bus from the Partridge family. Just kidding, although the resemblance is striking. A 25-year-old vehicle remodeled with the necessities, bunk beds and a toilet. It's serviceable, but it ain't no Madden cruiser. Nevertheless, they've adapted pretty well to their new tent on wheels.
And it was weird, the other day we were all out running around at night, just going on a walk because we were at a national park. And then it was like, oh, we need to get home. And it was like, whoa, home. It can get stinky at sometimes because we're not used to the humidity, and you have to roll out on the windows, and we don't have air conditioning, but it's pretty comfortable.
When these guys began their pilgrimage, the Journeymen, as they've dubbed themselves, didn't have the first ticket to a single game, but so far they haven't had much trouble getting in.
We were shut out of Chicago except for one person, but other than that, we've been able to get them under face value, you know, usually like around 20 bucks, which has been nice because we're low on funds. Mom, I need money. Send it quick.
Well, if the Journeymen are to fulfill their goal, they'll have to hang around D.C. at least another day, because last we heard they were unable to secure tickets for today's contest. Tomorrow, Belgium faces Saudi Arabia at RFK. That's sports. I'm Steve Buckhantz. Morris, Cynthia.
You're watching News 4 at 5 with Susan Kidd, Doug McElway, Bob Ryan Weather, and George Michael Sports.
A much happier international story now. Washington's RFK Stadium is playing host to yet another round of World Cup soccer matches today. The first match pitted Italy against Mexico. I visited the parking lot around RFK this morning to get a feel for the rabid spirit of World Cup fans.
It's a 20-year-old bus. The seats are ripped out, replaced with bunks for the long rides to every World Cup venue in America.
Got a bathroom here, which has turned out to be pretty important on the road.
8 guys from Seattle bought this contraption for $2,000. It's their home for this summer, and they're not even rooting for any one team. Now meet some real fans. Today at RFK, it was Mexico versus Italy. Seeing how the national colors of each of these teams are the same, red, white, and green, it was easy to get confused about who was who. And then again, there were certain identifying characteristics.
Mexico! 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 Mexico!
But seeking a clearer picture of how to identify an Italian fan from a Mexican fan, we went to an Italian restaurant and learned the bartender's name was
Sandra Gonzalez.
And guess who was dining on pasta and Chianti?
We have a lot of Mexican fans here today.
America, what a great country this is. But it's a country that's beginning to love soccer. Check this out. That's an American girl working magic with that soccer ball.
Can you get that ring right there?
What's that say? NCAA.
NCAA. This is the first NCAA championship women's soccer. Right there. Played at Carolina. Way back.
All right.
81 to 84 was fun.
What do you think of the World Cup being in the U.S.?
I think it's great. It's wonderful. It's going to be, I'm just excited to be here.
And that goes for hundreds of thousands of others from around the world.
And by the way, Italy tied Mexico 1-1 in today's matchup at RFK. George Michael will have more coming up in sports tonight.
It's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? From WCPX, this is 6 News.
The rockets' red glare and the bombs bursting in air. A 4th of July celebration right here in Central Florida. Thousands take in the sights and the sounds of fireworks and enjoy this great all-American holiday. Good evening, I'm Bud Hettinger.
And I'm David Whitman. Mary Hamill has the night off. Thank you for joining us here on 6 News. Still to come on 6 News tonight, taking the bus to World Cup in Orlando. No big deal, really. But wait till you meet these fans who hopped a bus a month ago in Seattle.
Now that World Cup in Orlando is history, who had the most fanatical fans? Well, before you say the Dutch or the Irish, I'd like you to consider this busload of Americans from Seattle. They all played soccer in high school or college, and they've been on the road since June 10th, catching World Cup action from coast to coast.
We just decided because Seattle wasn't going to be hosting any of the games that we needed to get around somehow, and it started with just a van, and then we sort of upgraded the whole idea to getting a bus.
And that bus has taken them to World Cup games and parties in L.A., Chicago, New York, Washington, and Orlando. You know, they even got some major sponsors to pick up part of the tab.